Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, the show that brings you the latest and greatest and odd and crazy news from all over the planet. We are the show that goes out into the Wild West, hunts down the news like it's some kind of roaming bison, and pa-chow! We take down that news and we don't just use the meat. No, we use every piece of that bison news material to bring you a podcast. We skin it, we eat it, we burn it, we turn it into shoes. This is all news. Calm down, PETA. We're talking about a news bison, not a real bison. This is make-believe. Get off your high horse. It's a bunch of shenanigans. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Steven, joined as always by the amazing, the wonderful, the only, Smashley.
What's a news bison?
They're, if you want to look them up, they look like a bison, but they're covered in words. They're wrapped in plastic. I don't know. Do you think I come at this with any plan? Do I look like a guy with a plan?
What's that from?
The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight. The Joker says it.
This side is blue and this side is yellow.
I don't know what that means, but I'm proud of you that you know colors. It's West Virginia colors. Look at you. You're so patriotic. Can you be patriotic for your alma mater? Who is your alma mater anyway?
You need new glasses. I don't. Which one? Which
Don't you have
time,
a
Steven?
few almond maters?
Yes, I have a few almond maters. So, but this screen is like blue tone, and this screen is yellow tone. I much prefer this screen because yellow tones suck.
You need to calibrate. That's what you need. You need to do some color.
Calibrate.
How you waiting in this dance for me? Let's get it percolating. Why are you waiting? Just dance for me. I never liked that song,
beautiful.
To be fair. I didn't really understand Mary J. Blige.
I don't know any of what you just said. I just know that Jacob sings that all the time. But I feel like the calibrating thing would be better.
There was this time where MTV was a magical blend of music from everywhere, because they had like pop punk and nu metal were happening at the same time, and then they had some R&B like Korn, nu metal.
Oh, I'm like, I don't know these labels. I know
Nu metal,
things I like and things that I don't like.
Nu metal was like new. I don't know why they spelled it that way. It's like a umlaut. But Korn and Limp Bizkit and stuff were big. And then on the this other side of the spectrum, you had Sum 41 and Blink-182 were big. And then you had you'd get Mary J. Blige and Missy Elliott and stuff were popping up. And MTV did a pretty and there was NSYNC and Kid Rock, and there was just all kinds of stuff. And they did a pretty decent job of having moments of each of those genres be able to spread their wings to fly. And then they eventually just stopped doing that and just wanted to see.
What do they do now?
I actually don't know. What does MTV do now?
It's just all oh my gosh, Steven, do you think COVID-19 will kill the reality TV show?
No, they'll just make a new one. Quarantined on an island. Can they survive? I don't know. Reality shows are stupid. They're stupid. If you watch them, I'm sorry. I just think they're really bad. But I won't kill the reality show, but I wish it would. I can't handle it.
I think that this could. I think that social distancing could kill the reality show. I think it'll be maybe there's some documentaries to come out of this, like Tiger King style. But I wouldn't it be awesome if the good that came out of billions of people dying across the billions with a B,
billions with a B.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think that would be a pretty great thing. That's subject to stream for 34 months of giving us your money. You're an amazing human being. Jeez. That's almost 3 years. That's almost 3 years.
Have we known him that long?
Apparently so. He's been around.
Subject to Bezos Plus.
I would be down with reality TV shows going away, but the problem is something's going to fill the void. Do you think Netflix documentaries?
HG said it was streaming.
Oh, well, okay. If Headgamer says it's streaming, maybe that is it, and maybe this is our opportunity. We just need to add.
Well,
more breasts.
My child is still screaming.
I'm so sorry. I can tell you're
He's
trying.
never cried like this long ever. Ever.
That's a tough. Well, I tell you what. I'll do the heavy lifting today, and if you need to go, you can go. You'd be like, I'm going.
What's wrong with him?
They do that from time to time.
No,
Babies.
he doesn't though.
That's the thing. You think you have him pegged, and now you don't. He's changed gears on you.
TV straps, he poop more than his body weight. He feels empty.
And Kelly says
he's a baby.
That's
like
what's wrong with him.
He does. So when Steven gets sick, he does this thing. He's like, he lays on a couch and he dies. Like, I don't care if he's got a cold. Like, he will go out and cut his leg off and he'll be fine. But if he's sick, like if he has a cold, it's the end of the world. He'll lay on the couch and he'll be like,
Everyone says that about me, and these are lies, at least in recent years, because I haven't been able to do that. I would love to do that, but every time I get sick, everyone else does. And you know what that means? When everyone else gets sick, you're not sick. You're the only one that can pull it together because everybody else is knocked out somewhere. And you're just like, okay. I guess I'll do it.
Pre-child Steven did that. Yeah. And that's what my baby does. He takes after Steven. He'll be like, and that's his like, feed me now, I'm dying cry. Like he doesn't do the wah. He just goes,
I just wanted to take what's gonna happen when it comes to immune system building since your baby like hasn't been out of the plastic bubble since birth?
We're gonna have like so many bubble babies because nobody's kids that have been born recently have been exposed to anything.
Yeah, I mean Sam hasn't been sick since we stayed inside. I mean, obviously, there's nothing for him to catch.
Oh, that's so true. 6 weeks of no sick Sam.
Yeah, like he used to get sick all the time, and now he's just there's nothing to get sick from.
So I have a question, and maybe Kelly can answer this, or one of you other. There's like a lot of smart people in our chat. I just realized. I mean, I just realized I'm an idiot. What was I saying?
I don't know.
You
were saying somebody can answer it.
Everybody talks about, oh, you need to get your children to lick the mall floor so they get sick and they can build some antibodies. But like, there's so many viruses that mutate that it doesn't matter if you have the antibodies or not. Like the only antibodies that matter are like the measles, mumps, and rubella stuff, right? Like the non-mutating viri. So it's just like, who gives a crap if your kid gets a cold? That just means he's sick this one time and he will get a cold the next week if he's still licking shit. Right?
Yeah, I think so. So there's okay. So you can get a cold, right? You might get a cold, but if your body's defenses are pretty strong, the virus will not replicate to the point that has overwhelmed your immune system. We get bugs a lot, but our immune system's hard at work going, oh, I got this. I've seen this before. I'll take care of it. And the virus or the thing that gets in you, bacteria, whatever it might be, doesn't have enough opportunity to grow and overwhelm your immune system. So it's doing its job. So you have enough antibodies being built because you're getting sick a lot that it eventually has the capacity to keep those things at bay. That's why Stephanie and I might go to the same places, do the same things. She might get a cold and I might get a slight sniffle and I'm better pretty quick. Because her immune system is not as strong as my immune system because I never washed my hands as a child.
I don't know. That's so. Stephanie was anal retentive about hand washing and stuff, and I ate cookies off the mall floor. And Stephanie gets sick far more often than I do. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
I like that way of putting it. Steven explains germs.
I tried my best. I watched Storybots. They talked all about immunities and how they worked. Now, to be fair, Horseshoes and Hand Grenades is not a medical podcast. Neither Ashley or Steven are medical professionals. Please seek your own medical counsel for information on flu and immunology. So thanks for that.
HG said, I love that we've got so many like smart doctor brains in the
doctors.
Thing. Yeah. Somebody asked us, they're like, so how are you enjoying all the kids shows? I'm like, he's 6 effing weeks old. There are no kids. Like, how is he gonna watch TV?
We didn't really let Sam watch TV till he was about 2. I think then we started introducing him like 30 minutes to an hour a day, at most, and it was all like Tumbleleaf and Storybots.
Tumbleleaf was so good. I
Tumbleleaf
loved
still
watching
is
Tumbleleaf.
good. Tumbleleaf is great. We watched it the other day. I'm like, this is wonderful. I would watch this. It treats kids with respect, Ashley. It treats them like
Yeah.
human beings, and it talks to them like they're smart. It doesn't talk to them like they're not Teletubbies just bouncing around, patting each other on the butt, singing dinky songs without real words. Tumbleleaf treats your kids like they're people, and it was such a refreshing show. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not like talking to them. It's not making clap sounds. It's not going, now point out the kangaroo. It's just, it's kids playing. They're just watching kids playing with stuff. It's a creative little thing. I love it. I love it.
I do. I would watch Tumbleleaf with. Well, I mean, I watched it with Sam a lot, and like when Stephanie would take forever to come down on our movie nights, I would turn to Tumbleleaf and watch it while they were getting ready for bed.
It's because it's a good show. Good
That's
show.
real cute.
Let's do a factoid.
Okay.
Babies babies is the theme today. Babies begin sleep
Yeah.
in active sleep and spend equal amounts of time in active and quiet sleep. This means 50% of baby sleep is relatively light and often filled with dreams. For adults, the average length of the first NREM-REM sleep cycle is between 70 and 100 minutes. The average length of the second and later cycles is about 90 to 120 minutes. So babies just they just kind of doze a lot. Is that what we're saying?
So that's when your brain builds neural connections. So that's why they are in REM way more
Mm.
than we are, because that's their brain building. But I thought it was interesting because until I had Ittle Biddle, I didn't realize that there were like I knew that you went through a cycle of sleep, but I didn't know you did it multiple times. And at that transition, if something like because it's lighter, if something startles you in your sleep, that's when you could wake up and you're like,
Oh.
why am I? And some people can't go back to bed and start the sleep cycle again.
I
Can't push
can.
my glasses.
I will
Yeah.
fall. I will tank. Like Sam, he'll call me in the middle of the night sometimes, 2 a.m. Daddy, come lay with me. I'm like, why did you even wake up? But I'll go in there and I'll just like, flop down on the bed and I'm out. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. I'm asleep. Forget it.
Typing is very much overrated. That's how I type with everything now, Zafo, because I'm one-handed. But yeah, so like the sleep cycle is some people that transition is really rough for them, and some people are me and Steven. They're just like, what's the sleep cycle?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I've been practicing real hard trying to fall asleep faster. Taking this, there's a guy who trained World War II, or World War I or World War II fighter pilots, can't remember, to fall asleep because they weren't getting very much sleep because of stress and getting called up and like all this different stuff.
Yeah.
So he had to train the pilots how to fall asleep quickly wherever they were. And so I've been using some of the methods that he explained to try to fall asleep. It works. It works so well. You're out in like 2 minutes. Uh-huh. The gist of it is clear your brain. Like, in other words, start concentrating on your breath. It's basically mindful meditation to some degree. Do not chase the thoughts that wind through your head because we don't get enough time to think about things because we're all busy with our phones and our computers and our input. So your brain goes, oh, we're quiet. Let's start thinking about stuff. We haven't done that in a while. You remember when we used to think? You remember when we should do that. It's been a long time. You're like, I was in the shower like 12 hours ago. You had time to think then. It's like, no, that novel you want to write, let's consider the characters. And you're like, shut up. I'm busy. Well, you have to get it to stop doing that. So you listen to your breathing, and then you're supposed to imagine blackness. And then you're supposed to imagine.
I can do
that. I just think of my soul. Then you imagine your body like loosening, so you have to relax all your muscles. And then you imagine falling into a hammock in a black space, just falling backwards into a hammock, and you will be out in 1 minute and 30 seconds. I almost fell asleep telling all that. It was putting me there.
So you basically just do corpse pose in yoga.
You hypnotize yourself until so you fall asleep. It's easy.
So is it just lately you've been having issues falling asleep or just
No, I just wanted to do it. I don't have issues falling
Oh,
asleep.
okay.
Like last week I did, but it was all because I was playing Red Dead too much and trying to go to bed at 11:15 and acting like I was going to get in bed at 11:15 and be asleep by 11:16. That's not how that works. I'd be up till midnight. Like, oh my gosh, I want to fall asleep.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever. Every once in a while, I'll have an issue falling asleep, but it's normally because it's like a full moon and I'm apparently a werewolf.
Oh yeah, you and Jacob both have the full moon problem. I can do it. I can fall asleep. It's just some days it takes a lot of effort. Do you want to do some world news? Let's do
Yeah, I
some
guess
world
we
news.
could actually do a show.
Steven is self-improving. Steven's
I
reading a lot.
know.
Steven reads a lot, and then I try to use most of the stuff that I learn to do stuff. And I think that's good. I don't know. I wish I would have started self-improving 15 years ago. Probably be a lot further along than I am now.
So I love that, like, there's this thing now. Maybe it's just this area, or maybe it's where Stephen and I grew up, but like, there was no self-improvement in West Virginia. You just
Oh.
were, and
We
your
like to call it.
children.
We like to call it good enoughism. West
Yes.
Virginia has a big case of good enoughism.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much. Yes. So, like, you get down here, and I feel like I'm learning all this stuff, and I'm learning stuff like, do this with your baby and do this with your baby. I'm like, I could have been so smart if only I would have listened to Mozart and looked at high contrast colors at 6 weeks old. I've missed out on so much life. You know?
You
They're like,
know,
I'm like,
yeah.
it's so, and they're like, do tummy time and do this and do that. And I'm like, the kid sleeps, falls asleep at the titty after he wakes up. Like, what? When am I supposed? At 4 weeks old, you do this. I didn't do it, so my kid's either gonna be fine or dumb because I didn't give him tummy time.
I'll tell you this: your kid's gonna have his own set of motivations at some point that he'll be chasing down, and it doesn't all stem back to the first year of his life. It's not everything that happens to him from this point forward is not your fault because you didn't tummy time enough. Like, I think that's the point. I've met multiple parents, and their first thing is like, "Well, you're a parent now. Better learn to forgive yourself," because that's the legit truth. Like, you have to learn to let it go, because it's everything that your kid does is not you. It's not your fault, or you're not the credit either. They do their own thing. But yeah, you're not.
Tummy time anyway.
Huh?
What is tummy like? Do not lay your infant on its stomach, but also give him tummy time. Like, what is tummy time?
There,
Like, you just flop the kid on the floor. Have fun, Timmy. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
No, you're supposed to stay with them. The idea is for them to strengthen their neck muscles. You don't just lay them down on a pillow bed and be like, "Good luck."
Oh, speaking of ADHD, you know how you were talking about not thinking and like we don't think anymore?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm really guilty at 4 in the morning. Like, the baby's asleep on me. I'm like, if I get up, he's gonna wake up and he's gonna want food in 15 minutes anyway because we've been here for 2 hours. So I'll just sit there and like piss around on webtoons or something. So today Jacob's like, hey, we're good. I'll do this. You go grab a shower. And I'm like, okay. No, he told me to go to sleep. That's what it was. He's like, go back to sleep. So I was really hungry because breastfeeding makes you hungry. So I snuck in the pantry while Jacob was busy, and I got the big family sized bag of Cheetos that he got me, and like the rustling didn't like make him go, "Whoa, what is that?" And I'm like, "Ooh." So I'm in my little blue robe with my hood, and I squirrel my Cheetos, and I go trolloping down the hallway. And I'm like, "I got Cheetos," and I look behind me, and he's still like he's not aware of my Cheeto thievery, and I'm like, "Ha ha!" And so I gently close the bedroom door, and I'm like, I have to pee, and I can't eat Cheetos in bed because that's weird. So I get ready to go pee, but then I'm like, oh, I want a Cheeto. So I open the bag of Cheetos. I'm standing in the doorway of the bathroom, and I'm like, these are good. And then I just start eating the Cheetos while I'm like leaned up against my sink. This just sums up my brain. And then I turn around because I'm like, I don't want to watch myself eat Cheetos in the mirror. And there's like the big window behind my thing, and it's beautiful outside. It's like windy and rainy and like overcast. And so this like tree limb is doing this and it's hypnotic. And I'm like, man, that's so pretty. Wouldn't it be cool to control wind? And so my brain goes down this like, I could write a book about people that are elementals that control powers, and you'd call it elementary. And the next thing I know, Jacob is standing beside me with the baby going, honey? Because I didn't hear him come in. Because
Oh
the baby had
no.
spit all over himself. And I'm just sitting there in a robe in the bathroom eating Cheetos, looking out the window. And I'm like, he's like, do we need to talk about depression? He's like, do you understand the optics of what I'm seeing right now? I'm like, I was having a beautiful moment with my damn Cheetos watching the wind blow, Jacob.
I'm not depressed.
I'm not depressed.
Zafo, this isn't what it looks like.
So, yes, like a little gremlin just shoveling down Cheetos.
Man, that sounds real good. Where'd you
Cheetos.
get a bag of Cheetos from?
Jacob made friends with the lady at Harry Peter.
Oh man, he went to the teat and got you some Cheetos.
Cheetos.
I want some Oreos. I haven't had a sweet treat. Stephanie and I have actually been eating like healthy food and snacks. Like at lunch, we haven't had any nuggets, so I'm forced to make a turkey sandwich. And I'm like, ugh. But that being said, I was telling everybody before the show that I think I'm back down to my normal weight. I don't know that for sure because I haven't weighed myself, but I felt my face tighten up. Like,
Steven's like, I did natural Botox by not eating Oreos for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
my goozle, I was telling Jacob, my goozle's not as big as it was.
Do you call that a goozle too?
Now. I didn't before.
I hate that so much. Jacob says something about his goozle, and I'm like, stop talking about goozles. I hate that word.
It'll be his goozle when he turns 75, and we're sitting on the porch, and it's dangling down like a turkey neck. Oh.
I've had a goozle since I was little. Like my entire, like on my mom's side, everybody has this like little padding right here. It doesn't matter how thin anybody is.
It's
like,
always, there's no tight, no tight neck for you.
I don't know. It's just like this little fat pad, but it's all on like my mom's side. I hate. I remember in 6th grade we like did this. I'm sorry, I'm really chatty. We did this stupid shadow thing where you have to turn to the side and they like sketch your profile when you graduated 6th grade. Like, here's your shadow profile. And I'm like, F you. And of course, you wrote it on because it got the huge therapy bump because this was before the surgery and like this little fat pad. And I'm like,
you're like, dagnabbit, I look better than that. Get me on my good side.
Dude, right? Like,
yeah.
Can't you show my high cheekbones or
something? I knew a guy who was remarkably fit, and because I noticed people who don't fit the patterns I'm expecting, his goozle, like his neck went from the tip of his chin down to here. Like he didn't have a curve. It just went swoop. And I was always fascinated by it, but he was not overweight. Like it's just how his neck worked. And I'm like, but I would always be, the years I stared trying to figure out what was going on. And I should feel bad about that because I stared at someone just not in a judgy way. It just doesn't fit what I'm used to seeing.
Why does your neck? Yeah.
I have
Genetics
a broken
are
brain.
Bitch, man.
When I was a kid, there was a kid in my that my parents knew, and he had ears like this. These guys, like doing this deal. And I had never seen that before. And I'm like 4 years old riding in the back of a pickup truck with this kid. And my mom is like losing it because I'm sitting there going, like, trying to figure out how they work. My mom's like, oh my gosh, Steven, what are you doing? What are you doing? But I just didn't understand. And honestly, that same little kid in the back of the truck never went away. So anytime I see something that doesn't fit, I'm like, what is that? What's going on? And it's not even meant to be mean. It's just trying to understand my world, you guys.
And when you're little, you don't know to hide that internally.
No. And I told Stephanie the other day, it's like, Stephanie, there are lots of questions in this world that I have that I'll never be able to ask anyone. And they're not even mean questions. They're just questions that would be considered offensive in polite company. I just want to understand the universe, but I also don't want to be murdered. So I don't know what to do with these questions.
I feel like I get away with asking some of those for some reason. Like when I was little, people were like, this one chick walked up to me in the mall one day, and it was after like I went to school with her, and then I went to another school because I wore cool odds on accident one day, and they kicked whatever. But she's like, she looked at me, she's like, Ashley, you're so weird. And I remember thinking, I'm going to punch you in the throat, eviscerate you, and then shove the evisceration down your throat punched hole. Because those were normal reactions to things. But like now I'm just like, fuck yeah, I'm weird, you dumb bitch. I stay bitter about shit.
My head's gonna blow up. God. Sometimes I wish my office was out in the shed. I do. Oh, that's
you
good.
guys ever think about stuff that piss you off? You're like, I've grown past that, and just thinking about it, you're like, fuck you.
Yes, I do that a lot. I go, young Steven, why were you not better than this? Why did you even care? Because now you're just like, screw you guys. I do what I want. Back then, you cared for some stupid reason. We let other people control us till we finally turned 30, and we're like, whatever. And you're walking around with your hand down the back of your pants going, this is how I'm comfortable. You guys suck.
Just crop dusting a room.
Like, whatever. I'm a grown-up. I don't have to care about you anymore. I make money now. Suck it.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, it always gives me a little... So this is really bad, and this is really cruel, and this is really terrible. But it always gives me a little bit of joy. It gives me a little bit of joy to know that those who persecuted me in high school are like janitors. Not to say that your janitor's a bad job, but let's just say I'm real happy that you have struggled more than you really needed to because you were a butthole and you deserve it.
That is, I wonder what it is about us that like when karma strikes harshly, we're like,
oh yeah, when this one kid got arrested for having a big bag of weed, I was like, good. It's about time. It's about time. I don't even feel bad. Why would I feel bad? He's the one smoking weed, and he was a terror and a horrible human being. I mean, you can smoke weed if you want. That doesn't make you terrible, but he was. So he's a terrible person, and I'm glad that he went to prison, and good on him. And I'm glad he's out. But the day he tried to friend me on Facebook, I wanted to write a really nasty message like, no, you do not get to be my friend.
What is the Facebook response for this?
Yeah, for like up your butt with a coconut. I don't even care about you anymore. Let's talk about women in China, shall we?
Oh, sure.
Let's do a story. Woman in China sends 1,000 kilograms of onions to ex-boyfriend to make him cry.
What?
I would cry for multiple reasons. In a bizarre incident, a heartbroken woman in China sent 1,000 kilograms of onions to her ex-boyfriend as revenge. She apparently wanted to make him cry as much as she did after their relationship ended. The girl was absolutely shattered after her boyfriend ditched her. They were in a relationship for over a year, and according to her, she spent 3 days at home crying. But when she got to know that her ex-boyfriend was not upset at all, she decided to send him 1,000 kilograms of onions. Several sacks of red onions were dumped outside her ex-boyfriend's door. He was photographed looking at the onions in a clueless state. According to the Daily Mail, she also sent him a note that the onions that read, "I've cried for 3 days. Now it's your turn." Apparently, the girl was angry that her boyfriend had not shed a single tear after parting ways with her. Speaking to the local reporter, the man said he'd broken up because of her over-the-top behavior.
I feel like that can't be real. Is that real?
It sure looks like a bunch of onions. I'll post the link in the chat for you guys to decide for yourself.
Oh my god, it is. He's just staring at onions.
Yeah, he's just there staring at the onions. I mean, that is kind of over the top. It's like you just spent a lot of money to give me onions, and this has done nothing but prove that I was right to leave.
So much guacamole.
You got guacamole with an onion?
Those are red onions, man.
Yeah.
Those are guacamole onions.
They're salad onions. I don't really like red onions.
I don't like. No, you don't put red onions in anything except guacamole.
There's really no reason for this guy to. I mean, I guess all he really has to do is go to his neighbors, be like, "My crazy ex-girlfriend sent all these onions. Do you guys want them?" Like a year's an investment, right? A year's an investment, but it's not that big of an investment. It's a long. I would consider it long term, but not like not really worth losing it over.
So guys respond very. Oh my gosh! I get a brownie and a bowl.
That stopped her dead in her tracks. Why are you gonna eat that while I'm? Oh my goodness! I'm going to the store. You're gonna make me break quarantine. Why does Insomniac Cookies not run locally? Like, I need them to deliver me cookies.
My mouth is watering.
I can imagine. So I thought of a donut today, and I was like,
sugar is an addictive piece of crap nugget, and it's awful. And that's like all I've been living off of lately because breastfeeding makes you want carbohydrates and sausage, man.
You makes you really want that sausage.
Non-perverted way possible. Give me dim sauce. Oh, I had to go see the girly doctor for my 6-week checkup, and she's like, well, you're okay to have sex. Everything looks good. She's like, unless you don't want to, and then just tell them that you can't for another 6 weeks. And I'm like, I love you.
That's amazing. Unless you don't want.
She's like, just tell them that you can't. She's like, just say she's like, I'll write it up in the report if you want me to.
What the devil?
They're like dead set over watching over the women at that practice. I'm like, you guys, all the Google 5 stars. I had so much fun things. Oh, so guys, when you okay, so like guys and girls behave very differently unless you're me. When you are in a relationship and you break up with that person, girls typically are hurt immensely to begin with, right? And then work through it and get over it. Guys are like, la, 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 and then like 6 months later, they're like, maybe I had that shit good, and then they get sad, right? So his response, like he'll use the onions later to make French onion soup while he's crying over in 6 months.
I don't know that he'll cry over her because that sounds pretty insane. But that does track. There's the relief of like, well, that's over. I'll get over it real quick, and I'll write 4 or 5 songs and make an entire album out of this feeling. And then you're like, oh, I'm better now. And then you'll like see them and look at them and be like, I really miss you. Mostly you just miss kissing lips, miss kissing somebody. And you're like, really would be nice just to kiss somebody. And here I am alone, and there you are still by yourself. Hey, you want to try this again? And they're like, sure. And you do it, and then like 6 months later, you're like, this was stupid. We should have never tried this again. You're like, great. And then you're like, oh, you're real pretty. We should hang out. And then you marry that person. And then that's how your life goes.
Kelly's making fun of you because you married Stephanie in like 8th grade.
I did not.
Yeah, they had their 10-year anniversary. Did we talk about that?
That was last week. That was last Friday. We had our 10-year anniversary in quarantine. We stayed in and we watched a movie, and
What'd you watch?
Hung out. Oh, what did we watch? Boy, that's the sad thing. I can't remember anything. I don't remember what we watched. It was something we hadn't seen yet, and we were excited about it. And it's gone. And it's gone.
Oh my God, Steven.
What?
I feel like the entire thing needs to be clipped as the court. Did you see the cheese grater dildo that I sent?
Yes, I did. That's the worst thing I've ever seen. That's like the equivalent of trying to put a fake wiener on a Sawzall, and that never ends good. Didn't we have a story about that once? Discord. Somebody used one on a Sawzall, and it went poorly.
I don't think I
don't think it was a blade. I don't think it was a blade in the saw. I think they just attached it, and then things didn't go as you would hope.
Okay.
You know.
So a lot of sex toys basically are power tools with dongs.
Well, I can't wait to go down to Ace Hardware and do some improvisation. It's like you go to Home Depot, you got your hands in your back pockets. What you looking for today, sir? Looking for the best tool for my tool, if you know what I mean. I'm sorry, sir. What are you getting at? I need something I can attach a wiener to. Just take a giant 8-inch wiener out of your pocket and be like, something I can put this on, and like wave it in the guy's face.
Some of the amp guard dudes used to bring wieners and fight with them. They just a big jelly dog.
That was an interesting time in our lives. That feels like ages ago. Amped guard. Those were some characters.
Weird friends. Weren't they wonderful?
They were fine. You found some interesting folks. Stephanie's still friends with a few of them on Facebook. Basically, Amped Guard, for those unaware, it was our first experience with LARPers. And Stephanie and Ashley met them at college and thought they were the coolest people that they'd ever seen in their life because they shot each other with foam arrows.
I'm like, what is this magic? Because they would go in the quad and they would just have these epic battles. And I'm like, why are you not friends with everybody? This is so cool. Like, they'd have a bard and they just start singing at each other and they like fling floam swords. And everybody wore kilts. And I'm like, this is great.
It was and it was like you were unaware that was nerdy. It was just like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Oh, am I not supposed to like this? I don't care. I'm already in now. I'm sold.
It was wonderful.
Let's do more fights. Small town news.
To play.
No, yeah, I couldn't. I don't know that I would actually. Now I might hit Landon and Jacob with a sword. That would be pretty cool, but not like random people.
They were random. They were your crew, man.
Yeah. All right, then. Small town news.
Steven's so pissed off over the brownie, he waits until I put it in my mouth to do this.
I am. You're going to suffer. I hope you choke on it.
Enjoy the taste as you can't swallow. No.
Enjoy your swallowed brownie. Hope it turns to poop in your mouth.
5-year-old pulled over in U.S. while driving to California. What? That'd
Nice.
be Sam.
No.
A police officer in the western U.S. state of Utah, thanks for that specificness, was stunned after stopping what he thought was an impaired driver on a highway, only to find a 5-year-old behind the wheel. Oh, that's scary. The highway patrolman said that the boy told the Utah Highway Patrol said the boy told the trooper who pulled him over that he left home following an argument with his mother, who had refused to buy him a Lamborghini.
This 5-year-old, okay, I need to pause because I need to let you guys know that not 4 days ago, Ashley sends a text message just in the middle of the day that says, "You guys, Jacob is being unreasonable and won't let me buy a baby elephant." Just out of nowhere. Tells the entire family he's being unreasonable. He won't let me have a baby elephant. So this, just to give us all context for who's reading this story and the things that they say. Okay, you can go now.
It was really cute, and it was flopping around in a baby bath. I wanted it, and Jacob said absolutely not. And I thought that was cute. Like, we didn't even have a discussion. You know?
He just said no. How rude.
He just said absolutely not, and that was the end of it. And I'm like, this is... Steven got a dog.
It's the same.
Sure.
You're right. It's the same.
He decided he'd take the car and go to California to buy one himself. He might have been short on the purchase amount. He only had $3. Oh my God, this kid is fantastic.
He's the best.
This kid is going places to California, apparently. In the dashcam video of the incident, the SUV the boy was driving is seen weaving across the freeway as other vehicles and trucks speed by. The car then pulls over to the left side of the highway after Trooper Rick Morgan activates his siren. How did he know to even pull over?
I have no idea. He's got to be watching Cops like at night or something.
Amazing. As Trooper Morgan approached the driver's side of the vehicle on foot, he noted that it was straight, that he could
It was
He noted
strange.
that strange. Jeez, I can't read. That he could not see the head of the driver from the rear window. Morgan in the video is heard asking the boy for his age. "You're 5 years old?" he exclaims. "Wow, where did you learn how to drive a car?" The boy, who was not identified, has managed to drive about 2 to 3 miles from his home before he was stopped and his parents contacted. That is amazing.
This kid's nothing but trouble, man. Nothing.
Right?
I mean, Sam, I don't even know if he understands how money works because he's only mostly seen us use credit cards and stuff. Like, I don't even know if he understands that cash is a thing. So the fact this kid even had $3 is mind blowing.
Sam gave me $1 for Mother's Day out of his own piggy bank, and I thought that was really sweet.
Oh, he really did. That was really cute. We made the card. He said, "I want to put something in it." I said, "What do you want to put it?" He said, "I want to give her money." And I said, "Okay, I'll give you money." So he went upstairs to get some piggy bank, got you $1, put it in there.
That's so sweet. I'm like never gonna spend that $1.
He's a good kid. He's a mess and a half, but he's got a heart of gold.
He hasn't driven to California, so.
Oh no,
Hey.
yeah, true. He's still here, which is important. I like him pretty
I
good.
feel like that. I just don't understand. I want to talk to this 5-year-old. I want to go on like a tea date with this 5-year-old and Sam and just like have a fun time playing Mario.
Oh, I'm sure Ellen is going to talk to him. She talks to every 5-year-old that does anything. She'll put him on the show. Yeah, every time there's a 5-year-old on a news story for anything, Ellen's like, "I need this kid on my show," and then she gives him like a car or something. Who knows?
That is one large 5-year-old.
Is that the one where the censorship on his face makes it look like he's some sort of dimensional pocket?
Yes. Oh my god. It looks
Why is it
like if you just add teeth to the circle, he looks horrifying, like a hellraiser.
Yeah, who did? It looks like they just took like a bagel and shoved it onto his face to hide his identity. It's like you guys don't even know. Like, you guys need to see this picture because I can't figure out what sense. Like, they could have done pixelation, they could have done any number of things to make him not look like a demigorgon. Because it's ridiculous. Is that a blanket on him, or is he wearing shorts, like giant shorts?
Those are shorts. You can see the knee at the bottom, but I also thought that was a blanket. I don't understand any of this. That is an enormous 5-year-old.
He really is. That kid's like 8. There's no way he's 5.
No.
That kid weighs 70 pounds. He's not a 5-year-old.
He ate a 5-year-old.
Yeah, he's like the 5-year-old that's so big, like he pushes other 5-year-olds around. That's the hugest 5-year-old.
I mean, I still think he's the best ever, but he also
Actually,
the reason he.
What if he comes on the show because we interview him and he actually has a demigorgon face? And that's not censorship, and that's like actually a portal into his brain or into some other dimension attached to the front of his face.
Steven's tired. What if he actually has teeth in his cranium?
Yeah, what if that's thing, and it's like, oh,
that is
snap.
Really scary.
And when he talks to you, he talks with like on both ends of the spectrum. He has this deep guttural male voice and a female voice, like backing it up, like the Angel of Death in Hellboy 2. And you're like, oh my gosh, what is going on?
I'm really bummed that Hellboy didn't work out.
You know, it should have. And I hate that the newest Hellboy wasn't everything people wanted it to be. Because I really like David Harbour a lot.
I didn't mind it at all. Like, it didn't have maybe didn't have the catch maybe that the first one did.
Yeah, so I'll say this. I really like Hellboy comics. I think they're great. But from what I understand, Mike Mignola didn't really have a lot of say in the first 2 Hellboy movies, and where he did try to push, Del Toro pushed back because he felt like the audience, needed something different than what he wanted. And then this third movie,
cartoony.
Mignola got almost complete creative control of where things were going to go and how they were going to do it, and the director and him worked really close together, and it didn't pan out. So
that sucks.
Because in the first one, Del Toro fought back on some things, but the studio insisted on some things. And then the second one, they finally kind of got to do what they want. And that's why Hellboy 2 was so fun.
Hellboy 2 was fantastic. It was
Yeah, well, the first one, the studio required a human surrogate for the audience. That's why you have to follow the FBI agent around, because they wanted you to have that person you can associate with. And then the second one, Del Toro's like, monsters are good enough. Just let the people watch the monsters.
Why did I don't understand? Is that like a thing that's like the Transformers is not about Transformers, but is about the people?
Yeah, it's all you got because they think that people need something familiar to grab onto so that they can identify it. But sometimes we don't need that. We just need robots. The opening sequence of Bumblebee when they're actually on Cybertron, I would watch an entire movie of that. I would watch an entire movie of nothing but Transformers fighting each other on Cybertron.
I didn't see Bumblebee because I'm a little I'm done with. I
Oh, it's
watched the
good.
Fallen Knight one, and I'm like, what is this crap?
Oh, well, that's poop. Those are poop. Those are Michael Bay movies. The Bumblebee was really great. Bumblebee was super,
Was the
super
Bumblebee
great.
not Michael Bay?
No, is another guy, and they went to more of a classic Transformers feel. It's not just
Why wouldn't they let that? Should have been a selling point, not a Michael Bay movie.
definitely not a Michael Bay film, and we're not even trying to be Michael Bay because Ninja Turtles wasn't a Michael Bay movie either, but they really felt like one. So they were just like, there's no excessive boob showing in Bumblebee. It's just it's a good movie. And I'm with Kelly. I like the one
Really?
where Hugh Jackman trains the boxing robot. That was really great. Real Steel. That was a good movie.
There we go. Did you see Alita?
No, but I want to.
That was good. That was I think it's on HBO.
I need to give that a watch, but that'll
It
happen
was cute.
later after the news better left untold. TV's Travis making me go back and watch Over the Top. He says Real Steel was a remake of Over the Top.
What was Over the Top?
The Stallone arm wrestling movie
No,
where he's a truck driver. I haven't seen Over the Top in a million years.
I haven't seen it at all.
I think my parents were watching it and I watched it. Like my parents would watch movies in the living room, like Iron Eagle and Iron Eagle 2. And my dad loved Iron Eagle. I don't know. He acts like he's never liked anything but a Western, but he loved the crap out of Iron Eagle. And just weird stuff. And I remember seeing those movies. I had no business watching most of them. I don't know. But I love movies today because of it, I guess. Anyway,
He saw
Iron Eagle.
boobs.
Peruvian mayor poses his corpse to avoid arrest for flouting lockdown.
Wait, what?
The mayor of a town in Peru, but you clicked on this. I can't read it anymore. The mayor of a town in Peru posed as a dead coronavirus victim by lying in a coffin while wearing a face mask to avoid being arrested for violating lockdown rules he should have been helping enforce. This is a Michael Scott situation where you've done a bad and instead of handling it and just owning up to the one bad, you go make a worse one. That there's literally no way.
Bad?
There's no way you get out of it. Like you're digging the hole deeper. Jamie Rolando Urbina Torres was out drinking with friends in Tantara on Monday night when he allegedly played dead to throw off cops who arrived to bust them for defying public health orders amid the pandemic. The mayor, who has already faced criticism for being absent for much of the time during the outbreak, is shown in a photo released by local police lying in a coffin with his eyes closed. Torres was detained for violating curfew and social distancing laws. Police claim the mayor staged the macabre scene to appear as if he was a victim of COVID-19. It wasn't immediately clear where he and his pals were drinking or why open caskets were nearby. Torres has also come under fire by officials in recent weeks for failing to open emergency quarantine shelters and failing to implement safety checks. Like the rest of Peru, the town of Tantara was placed on lockdown on March 16th. Is there anyone in leadership anywhere in the world that should be there being a leader?
No.
Oh, I read a Theodore Roosevelt quote today, and this is gonna, if you really take this into your bones, it's gonna hurt real bad. But Theodore Roosevelt had this to say. He said, "To sit home, read one's favorite paper, and scoff at the misdeeds of the men who do things is easy, but is markedly inefficient. It is what evil men count upon the good men doing." Thank you, Teddy.
Holy shit! He knew Twitter existed before Twitter existed.
Yep, he just cut every armchair critic's balls off and handed them back to them.
Oh,
Here you
that's
are,
amazing.
sir. Either do something about it or shut up.
Wow, I feel like my butthole was kicked in. Prime
yeah, so-
Minister of New Zealand is apparently good.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a woman. So she's showing up every
Oh.
dude on the planet. I'm not saying that's like a bad thing. I'm just saying like It's every dude out there is getting. I don't even know if I can say this right. This just feels weird now. Buried myself in some sort of deep thought. But no, it's great. She's killing it, and she's awesome. I could just end it there. I
Stevie
think
goes,
what I'm.
"Oh well, she's a woman."
That's not what I meant, though. This.
I know.
You know what I was going for? I was going for like all these macho buttheads are being shown up by a woman, like that's a good thing. Not like it's a women are doing the job now. But yeah,
Steven, that was the best face palm ever, and I really need someone to screen capture that because that was the best face palm.
you know, sometimes you lean real hard into knowing that people have been around long enough to know who you are as a person. So when you try to say something, they go ahead and assume that what you meant was the right thing.
Safo said, "What's the bingo square for that one?"
It's right. Steven backpedals. It goes. See, thank you, Kelly. Kelly gets it. She knows me well enough to know where I was at.
I know. I think everybody knew what you were saying. I just was being an asshole.
It's fine. No, I hammered myself with that one. Hammered myself, as they say. No, that's awesome. No, she's doing great. But everyone else is just pooping their pants every where you turn. It's like, could we handle
Did you
this
hear
better?
about the? Let me make sure this isn't the next story because I have done that.
You have a tendency
Okay.
to let us have it.
The 100-year-old dude. I just heard about that where he raised a bunch of money for National Health Service NHS in the Angolans.
Mm-hmm.
Is that really old?
Who? The 100-year-old guy?
Yeah.
I don't know any 100-year-old guys.
He's a World War II vet, and he promised to make 100 laps around his garden home to raise money for the NHS.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he did. He raised this shit ton of money. So the military bumped him up honorary another status, and then he's getting knighted by the Queen, and he's the sweetest. Like, they interviewed him, he's like, everybody has some kindness, and if you just dole that out to people, then we'll all be fine. I'm like,
But there should be more of this happening in the world. There should be more.
it's so good. He's 100 years old, walking around in a walker around his garden to raise money for NHS. Yeah, he raised like tens of millions. Like,
Oh
it was like
my gosh.
400,000. I was ridiculous. It was a lot of money.
That's incredible. You know, and you think, like, how many opportunities do we have to do something so good like that? Like, I feel like if you and I did something like that, we're just a couple idiots. There's no way anybody would show up. I mean, we do our charity stream every year, and we raise quite a bit of money that way. But it's like, what more? Anytime, and give it, like, finding ways to raise money and give is addicting, because you start going, well, I just raised a bunch of money. I should think of something else to do to raise a bunch of money. I should raise more money. $40 million.
Kelly and Dafo do. 40 million. Yeah, 40 million buckaroonies.
For going around. Oh my
Tom
word.
Moore, there we go. Isn't that insane?
100-year-old hero.
Isn't
Dude,
he the sweetest looking man?
the
And
initial
just listening
plan.
to him talk. Oh.
The initial plan was to raise $1,250. That's all he wanted to do. And he's raised.
He made a comment about the Queen needing to go easy on knighting him.
Really?
You know, the sword. Yeah, well, because he's like, not like,
Oh,
go,
don't
but
beat
when
me
she
with a
used,
stick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. 40
Okay,
million
what he said,
dollars.
let's all carry on and remember that all things will get better. We've had problems before, we've overcome them, and we shall all overcome the same thing again. World War II vet.
32 million pounds.
Right?
My
Adorable,
word.
wonderful human being.
Well done, Tom Moore. You know what? This show's dedicated to you, Tom Moore, and your sacrifice multiple times throughout your life to bring a little bit of happiness and see that good prevails. Well done, sir. Well done.
That made me happy.
I'll send him his plaque soon.
Two Dorks honors you. He's like, well, I have a knighthood and a plaque from Two Dorks, so
If we could send him a plaque from Two Dork, that'd be pretty great. This is just for being a good person. Here's the thing from two idiots on the internet who just appreciate you.
Yeah, we just mail it around the country and get all of the dorks to sign it, and then we can mail it to him. That would be awesome. He did get a ton of mail.
I'm sure he did. That guy's not going to rest for the rest of his days. He's going to get
No.
mail every single day about being awesome. All right, WTF section. Let's do this. Let's press the button. Good. WTF.
I should be looking at the notes.
Bodybuilder Tracy Kiss claims. Wait, that's her name? His name?
There's boobs on
name.
this story. Those are not real.
Oh.
Those are definitely fake boobs.
This is Krobus gave us this.
I'm sure he did.
Bodybuilder Tracy Kiss claims she fights off coronavirus with sperm smoothies. So she just blows her.
No, she goes over to Jamba Juice and she's like, listen.
I paid for extra protein.
She's like, don't, just keep it down. But I'm about to hand you a cup and I need you to pour it into my Jamba Juice. Don't ask questions. That's what happens.
She didn't get it by someone keeping it down, Steven.
Are you saying she pumped it out herself?
A floofer.
She's a fluffer?
Floofer.
Where do you get this stuff from? Where does one acquire this? Do they have their own personal
I mean, I know where I can get some like now. I don't know where she gets hers.
So what do you have? Do you think you should get it from someone you know, or do you just go to like the market and pick it up? She gets the dude behind the counter to get some for her.
I have comments after.
Okay.
A British woman claims she's been drinking sperm smoothies to fight off coronavirus. Vegan bodybuilder Tracy Kiss claims she's not had a cold or flu for 3 years since she began drinking the jizz smoothies. That's not what it says.
No.
Which is made using donations from her boyfriend. Okay, why don't you just blow him? Like, why do you have to put it in a smoothie?
Yeah, I feel like the vehicle for delivery to the system is not. I mean, I guess is more palatable when mixed with mango and strawberry. Is that what you're going for? It's
Close your eyes and think of England, Tracy. Come on.
Grow a pair. Just do it.
In a post to her what is that number? 42530.
Oh, 425,000.
Yes. Instagram follower, she described it as, quote, nature's very own free multivitamin, and claimed it could fight the early symptoms of the deadly virus.
Doesn't that depend on what he eats, though?
Like I said,
okay, you have comments. Okay, I'll wait for your comments.
So many points. I'm thrilled to see the world wearing face masks to prevent. Oh no, this is her. I'm thrilled to see the world wearing face masks to prevent the spread of coronavirus and allow those already sick to receive the vital treatment they need. So let's switch our mindset to preventing our chance of catching any illness, including COVID-19, by being as healthy and strong as possible, because good defense starts from within, she wrote in this accent. The 32-year-old says she also uses the fluids on her face to improve her skin condition. I've heard that. Bizarrely comparing the practice to breastfeeding. What? I'm sorry, but breastfeeding dries you out. Does rubbing jizz on your face also dry you out?
I feel like it would be... No, but just keep going.
Oh, I should have kept reading. It isn't much different to a mother breastfeeding her newborn to give them the nutrients they need. So what you're saying is women need to suckle from the noozle of their... Oh, God. It isn't for everyone, but it's packed full of vitamins, and I haven't had a cold or flu for 3 years, ever since drinking it in 2017. I also put it on my face to clear up my skin. Bukake! I feel like this is just... Like, I feel like she's literally just getting blowjobs and bukakes, and she's trying to make it palatable for her audience.
Thankful for it. She's grateful for the opportunity.
Guess admits many people believed her drink is a joke, but insists she's sharing the remedy because she genuinely believes it can benefit people's health. Needless to say, her advice is not back. Okay, so I don't know how to say this delicately, but as one of the many women that swallow, you still get effing sick, dumbass. Like, sorry.
It's not
I've
a
had a
miracle
cold
cure.
a lot since I turned 18.
It's it's not a. Oh gosh, I don't even know where to go with this. Just okay.
Nope.
Let me ask this. Did he finally come in and like grab the cane to pull you off the show?
I turned around. He's just staring through the window like a meerkat.
You can't say things. Does he drink smoothies with sperm in them as well? Do you think that I feel like he should also could be healthy, so maybe he needs to just, but then again, what do you gain if it's your own? Because that was already in your body once before.
I don't know. That would be like me putting a straw in my nipple and going.
Oh gosh. Yeah, because it's like your body made it, so it was already in there to begin with. Good old prostate juice.
Now this is reality TV. I feel like there is no science to back that up whatsoever. It's probably more about the smoothies that she's eating, and she probably has a relatively healthy lifestyle if she's a bodybuilder. Also, I mean, rubbing stuff on your skin is great, but unless you're healthy from the inside, like if I don't drink water, my skin gets dry, and there's no amount of moisturizer I can put on that will fix that.
Yeah. You fix the inside first,
Yeah.
I
guess she's just covering bases.
All I can imagine is her boyfriend reading articles that debunk this and like quietly removing them from the computer.
I wonder if he's the one who brought it up to her.
He's like blocking every website with information that debunks it. Like, I need to stop this information from getting to her somehow, and just clicking around. She's like, what are you looking at, honey? Nothing, just some more great confirmation of what you're doing. Do you need me now? Okay, good. Delete history.
So I don't understand why she would how do you would she just milk him? Like, please jizz directly into the cup. Like, she just get the Vitamix held at the tip of his wiener.
I'm sure she'd be willing to share her process. If you asked, you'd probably be like, so what's the proper method for getting the material from point A to point B? Do you just like have your blend tech jar with you and make sure it goes where it needs to go?
I just don't understand. Like, it would. Okay, so this is just me, but it takes a while to make a smoothie, and then clean up the blender and stuff. So it's just much quicker. That's like peeling a banana and putting it in a baggie when you could just eat the banana directly out of the banana skin.
That's actually pretty good. That's pretty good.
TV's Travis. I'll post the link.
Poor Travis. Oh, man. Well, what a way to end the show, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight on Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. This has been a joy. I needed this. I know you guys probably needed it. I can only imagine. As we're in quarantine, we all need something, some people to accompany us on this journey. And, man, Smash and I are real happy to be those people for you guys. If you have comments, questions, suggestions, hate mail, whatever, you can send that stuff to hnhshow@gmail.com or tweet me, Steve H&H on the Twitter, and Ashley is Fate Kills, P-H-A-T-E Kills. You can always tip us, twodorks.net/tip. Give us a couple bucks. We'd be real grateful for that. Or join us on Patreon at patreon.com/twodorks, where you can join the fine people like Og, Adam, my mom and dad, it's Ashley's parents, and giving us some money. It's making a difference. It actually has really helped out. Ashley and Jacob have a new light. The web server gets paid for now, which is pretty great. It means I don't have to pay for it. So it's really makes a big difference for us. So that's exciting. And of course, there's always a different Twitch thing. Thank you, Subject to Change, for your 34 months of being a supporter here. That's incredible. You're almost at 3 years. Maybe we should get you a plaque. That's pretty awesome. But yeah. Thank you guys for everything. We're going to leave you with these words of wisdom from Arthur Schopenhauer. He says, each day is a little life, Every waking and rising a little birth, every fresh morning a little youth, every going to rest and sleep a little death. Well, how about that? That's pretty good words of wisdom. Things to live by. And we'll see. With that, we'll see you guys next time on Horseshoes and Hand Grenades.